Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's July 14th, 2016. The big news story today, the terror attack in France on Bastille Day, which is French Independence Day, the equivalent of the 4th of July in the United States. In this video, I'm going to educate about why France is experiencing so many false flag attacks right now, meaning attacks put on by their own government for the sake of propaganda and agenda. Earlier today, before this attack, I put out a video talking about an event upcoming in the United States, and I educated about false flag coding. So in case you missed that video, I'm going to teach you about false flag coding, and then I'm going to show you what it has to do with France's president and the year they're in on their French Republican calendar, their French Revolution calendar. They're in their 224th year. We're going to talk about why that matters. But first, let me give you the backstory on what I educated about in this morning's video because it directly relates to what happened in France. In US media this morning, it was out that there's going to be this 28-page report based on Saudi Arabia's involvement in September 11th, 2001 in the United States, a major false flag. Saudi Arabia, if you don't remember, is where supposedly the majority of the hijackers were from. Saudi Arabia, however, is an ally of the United States. We never went to war with Saudi Arabia. We went to wars with nations that didn't have any hijackers. Anyhow, this morning I talked about why it's going to be 28 pages. This is coded news, propaganda news, all part of the ongoing lie, the ongoing agenda. The phrase false flag in Jewish gematria sums to 156. This is a very special number. There's only two numbers when you write them out as words that sum to 156. They're 28 and 33. And please notice that false flag, the small way, is 33. See how these numbers come together, 33 and 156? The World Trade Center's construction began August 1968. They collapsed to the ground September 2001, 33 years later. They opened in 1973, meaning they were open from 73 to 2001 for a span of 28 years. They were open for 28 years. They existed for 33 years. The two numbers that sum to 156. And what's interesting about 156 in regards to September 11th is the number 911 is the 156th prime number. The construction firm that built the World Trade Centers, in a moment, I'll tell you how those connect, but first I want you to observe this, because we're going to be talking about the president of France during the time of these terror attacks. The president of the United States during September 11th, 2001 was George W. Bush. George W. Bush, born July 6, 1946. In 1968, he graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones, a Masonic order. That same year, 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. That same year, World Trade Center construction began, all in 1968. The movie Space Odyssey 2001 came out that year. That's 33 years before 2001. George W. Bush was born July 6, 1946. That's a date with 33 numerology. False flag equals 33. Bonesman, which is the alumni for Skull and Bones, which he is, 33. Secrecy equals 33. Masonry equals 33. Order equals 33. The Freemasons believe in divide and conquer and order through chaos. September 11th was planned chaos to build an agenda out of. War and changing domestic policy to, break away at our constitutional rights. We are now surveyed. There's constant surveillance on all of us at this day and age through our phones, computers, and it's all within the new framework of the law, the post 9/11 agenda. But with regards to this all happening in the year 68, that's also the year Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, Bobby Kennedy, big year 68. From George W. Bush's birthday to September 11th, 2001 was 68 days. Very important number. And none of this is a coincidence. As I've been educating about, when there are false flag shootings in countries, states, they sync up with the governors, the mayors, the presidents. This is not uncommon. So with that knowledge in mind, here's what I want to show you real quick about the firm that built the World Trade Centers. They were called Magnuson Klemenkic Associates. They're from Seattle, the 47th parallel. Talk more about 47 later. But their name in gematria, Magnuson Klemenkic Associates, sums to 111 and also 156. They built these structures that lasted for 33 years and came down on 911. With regards to the 111 gematria, that's also interesting because New York equals 111, where the towers were built. And September 11th, the day they fell, is the day that leaves 111 days left in the year. See how this all comes together? So now with regards to France's president and what happened today and false flag, check this out. From today until his birthday is 29 days. France in Pythagorean gematria equals 29. August 12th, 1954, his birthday, currently 61 years old. You know, also strange that I noticed in the headlines this morning, CNN had this bizarre story about how much his hairdresser cost per month. Supposedly, his hairdresser costs 11,000 US a month. And I was like, what's up with this story? And the only thing I noticed is hairdresser had gematria of 61 like his age. Seems really weird that they put this story in the media this morning in light of what happened, you know? At first, maybe just poking fun because it's Bastille Day. Also, think about how they hinted at 9/11 this morning in the U.S. with the Saudi Arabia report and then a big terror attack in France. You know, this is what they do with these media headlines. They're like cluing us in. So anyway, this guy born August 12th, 1954, his name in gematria sums to 75. New World Order equals 75. That is what's going on. The New World Order is a Masonic Zionist world order. It is an old world order. It is ongoing. These people in high places, you know, president, prime minister of these Western nations, they are part of the New World Order. And with regards to 84, in history, on April 8th, 1904, France and Britain signed a military agreement over how to divvy up Northern Africa, which triggered Germany, another global power, which was the beginning of the snowball that led up to World War III. And 84 is a very special number here in the United States of America. United States of America equals 84. Right now, 84 is coded all over the current president, born August 4th, 8/4. The name Obama in Jewish gematria equals 84. You know, there's the Orwell book from the end of World War II, 1984, about these futuristic nations always at war where the people are enslaved by screens, propaganda, know their countries are at war but don't know why. Special numbers here coded into his name, Francois Hollande. But in simple English gematria is where his name really stands out. It sums to 156, just like false flag, just like 33, just like July 4th, the Independence Day in the United States that's followed 10 days later in France, Bastille Day. Again, Francois Hollande 156, false flag 156, 33 156. Some other interesting 156 phrases: as above, so below. Important motto to the Freemasons, to the Zionists, the Star of David or the Seal of Solomon, what's used for the flag of Israel, the Zionist nation. That symbol represents as above, so below. And think about it, 2 3-sided triangles, kind of like 33. The phrase 666 has gematria of 156. 666 connects to prophecy, a number made infamous in the book of Revelation, the book of prophecy. Prophecy in Jewish gematria sums to 666. Francois Hollande became president May 15th, 2012, a date with 52 numerology. The word prophecy in Pythagorean gematria equals 52. The number 6, when written out, sums to 52. 6, 666, it all connects back to prophecy. Prophecy is what the Masons go by in these spiritual texts. They code out all of their wrongdoing according to the books of prophecy. Something I touched on in this morning's video. If you want to go through my video channel and look at the video from earlier today, you can see I was talking about these same things. My channel, I am showing what's going on in the world, how they continue to repeat the same patterns, how these numbers are very significant. That's why they code them again and again. Here's why we find it in this president who's experiencing all these false flags for the nation by the numbers. This is the second video I put out on this reported attack today. If you haven't seen my first video, I'll link it in the description. I show how all the attacks from Charlie Hebdo to Friday the 13th, November 13th, to Brussels and more are all synced up. Even beyond the numbers, just look at the picture. Supposedly, this truck ran through a bunch of people. They've put out the image of the bodies on the ground with the blood around them. They really look like dummies. And if you haven't seen my work on the LAX shooting hoax here in the United States, they really did wheel out dummies in front of TV cameras, in front of an American audience, telling people that they were real people when it was clear as day they were dummies. What I've seen from the images out of France looks like dummies, like they use in the movies. I think if you look carefully, you'll notice the same thing. There's no blood on the front of this truck. This looks like a bad movie scene. But check this out. French president, this was a terror attack. In gematria, that sums to 414. False flag in English gematria also sums to 414. We're talking about the false flag coded prime minister experiencing all these false flag attacks with false flag coded into the headline. So now his birthday, April 12th, that's the 224th day of the year. In leap years, it's the 225th day. This year, the French Republican calendar will be going from the 224th year to the 225th year in a leap year. Here it is right now. The French Republican calendar began September 23rd, 2015. This is the calendar from the end of the French Revolution. 224th year. The phrase terrorist strike sums to 224. And in a moment, I'm going to show you what this documentary that came out in France has to do with 224, that has to do with Islamic terrorism in the country. From the date of the new year of the French Republican calendar until the date of the attack is 42 weeks and 2 days, the number 224 in reverse. The day Francois Hollande born, a date with 93 numerology. Tunisia equals 93. They're saying the driver's from Tunisia. They're saying he's a 31-year-old. Nice equals 31. 31's a third of 93. 33.3%. Saturn equals 93. Saturn is the keeper of time. These people work according to esoteric knowledge, such as the significance of Saturn and time. The word propaganda also sums to 93. You look at my work on the Zionist state of Israel. It was carved up on the date September 3rd, 1947. Their Congress, Knesset, equals 93 in gematria. Their Speaker of Knesset, his name, 93. Very important number to the Zionists. 93. Here it is in the president's birth numerology and coded into supposedly who the terrorist is from Tunisia. As for him being born in 54, I also routinely point out how 54 and 93 are paired together. They say the sun is 93 million miles away. Sun equals 54. Find these numbers coded together a lot. His birth numerology, also a date, was 74. Jewish equals 74. Masonic equals 74. Occult. Very special number. Talked a lot about that number in this morning's video. It's a number I constantly on. Here's that date from history, April 8th, 1904. This led to the carving up of northern Africa between Britain and France, where Tunisia is. So here's what's up. Made in France is this film that was made in France about terrorism. The filming dates were from August 25th to October 3rd. Notice the date it began is a date with 47 numerology. The date it concluded is a date with 47 numerology. France equals 47 in gematria. This movie about France. From the date filming began until the date it concluded, 39 days. 39 days. That's significant because the title of the film, Made in France, which is about Islamic extremism, terrorism. Made in France equals 93. 39 days to film. 93, the propaganda number. Tunisia equals 93. The small way, made in France equals 57, just like Scottish Rite, as in Scottish Rite Freemasonry, which came to power in France. The main character is named Sam. Sam equals 33. France, home of the plus 33 International Dialing Code, number of Freemason obsession. The Eiffel Tower, established on a date with 33 numerology in history. It's a radio tower. Radio equals 47, just like France. They made the movie 89 minutes long. There's this propaganda stream going back and forth between France and the United States and the UK against ISIS, Middle Eastern extremism. American Jewish gematria equals 129. 89 minutes is an hour and 29, possibly what they were coding. The movie was supposed to come out November 18th, 2015. That is the 322nd day of the year. In the first video I did, I showed how today's attack comes 3 months and 22 days after the March 22nd Brussels attack. 322. Number very important to Freemasonry. George W. Bush, a member of Skull and Bones that identifies by 322, where we began. In 2004, him and John Kerry, the candidates for President of the United States, both members of Skull and Bones, 322. That number in reverse, 223, connects to Masonic. Friday the 13th, the last Paris attack, the Synagogue of Satan, the name given to the false Jews from Revelation of the Bible. But here's the big one. Made in France in Jewish gematria also sums to 224. Again, we're in the 224th year of the French Republican calendar. Not a coincidence. Here's the propaganda. 31-year-old Tunisian is the driver. Propaganda 93, Tunisia 93, 31 years old, just like Nice. They say it was a lorry. Lorry has gematria of 88. In this article about the shooter, or not the shooter, the driver, they have this witness, and the witness's name is even Nice Mateen, which just makes me laugh. I mean, they got a witness with the same name as the town, saying 42 people in critical condition. 42, Freemason equals 42. Anyway, that person's name, Nice Mateen, has gematria of 88, just like Lori, just like French Revolution. French Revolution, what gave way to Bastille Day. The member of parliament that they interview, Eric Ciotti, gematria of 31, that last name, just like Nice. They mentioned 42 in critical condition right at the beginning. I think they wanted to mention that because critical condition has the same gematria as Lori, French Revolution. Of course, 42 like Freemason. Those Masonic colors are red, white, and blue. You show me a nation with a red, white, and blue flag, I'll show you a Masonic nation. Covered all this stuff in the first video. You know, something important in case you missed that. Nice, France has gematria of 51, just like conspiracy. The Bavarian Illuminati is credited in history with starting the French Revolution. They were established May 1st, 1776, just before the American Revolution. The French Revolution began just after the American Revolution. Freemason and Zionism also has gematria of 51. The leader, the creator of the Bavarian Illuminati is Adam Weishaupt, whose name in gematria also sums to 51. You know, this event today, a celebration that goes back to the French Revolution, started by the Bavarian Illuminati. A lot of networks are reporting 80 are dead. Bastille equals 80. Tragedy equals 80. French National Day, which it's also known as, equals 80. With regards to this 77 reporting, they're also saying 77 dead right now. I want you to know something. The date's July 14th, 14/7. Police in Jewish gematria equals 147. And what they do in the U.S. for these false flags is they have the police mostly carry out the drill. The police are in control of the reporting to the public what's going on. And really, in truth, what's going on is a drill is being conducted and a false tragedy is being given to the media. And they dress up these tragedies to make them look more real. You know, today we're seeing the dummies in the street with the fake blood. These are the lengths they go to dupe us. This is what the agenda is all about. It's all about generating hate for Islam, making people think there's an Islamic boogeyman. It's really the Zionists and the people who sell out to the Zionists for paychecks. The 77 dead also connects to police. Police department equals 77. Police officer equals 77. Here in the United States on 7/7, we just had this massive police killing, the worst since September 11th, supposedly. Also interesting, Nice, the small way, sums to 22, which in numerology is the master builder number. Master builder sums to 147. I was talking about these numbers yesterday in the video I did on the new Prime Minister Theresa May and how she's a tribute to Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher equals 76. Theresa May, the 76th Prime Minister. MTTM, the initials, 13 plus 20, 33. It's always the same numbers. The Freemasons, you know, red, white, and blue. Once you know what to look for, it's very easy to identify this gang and how they work. Numbers are important to them, colors. And this is how our news is contrived every day. All right, truth seeker. Until next time.